Okay, welcome all of you to Artist 7. I think you are enjoying the videos, and very soon we are going to have more videos on films, on festivals, how you can prepare for the festivals, the kind of processes you can have, the kind of discussions you can have, cinema appreciation we will talk about. Festivals, if I talk about the word festival, it's about relationships. We are celebrating cinema. So the relationships কিভাবে বাংলা থেকে হলো, the problem is people who were talking about relationships, those were superficial marriages, those were superficial relationships, and sometimes we go through the struggles, we go through the turmoil, we go through the conflicts, but we still embrace it, part of life. It happens, we go through it, we can make things better together, or maybe we can leave, but we can have a good relationship, we can learn from it, we can channelize it artistically, we can write great stories regarding that, great performances, great acting, direction, great things, because as I always say, because as life, cinema is a microcosm of life. So if we are facing all these struggles, relationship conflicts in real lives, then we can make a film out of it, we can write a script out of it, provided we know the conflicts enough. Now here we don't know the conflicts, we are in self-denial, we are particularly confining ourselves to few things, and we are making a lot of blames and excuses. That is even worse. That's why I am mentioning it again and again. Blames and excuses. You cannot do something, you are distorting the society, you are distorting the culture, and then you're using a lot of blames and excuses. Rather, if you would have taken the conflicts in a more serious manner, or you could have embraced those conflicts, you could have channelized those conflicts to your writing abilities, writing materials, direction, acting, performances, in so many things, art, cinema. That's what we do in art, that's what we do in cinema. That's the right way, or that's the way to go about it. But ekhane ki hocche, when you are taking that path, many people don't even understand, but they want to take you to a detour. And the detour is like that. I call it a type 2 detour, because where you are actually facing few things which is completely opposite. Suppose you understand what a relationship should be, what a relationship can be, what a relationship is like. Let's take for example what a relationship is like. You observe the relationship, you're not doing anything about it, you're just observing it objectively. Then maybe you are writing a script. It can be someone we see in the crowd, it can be you are sitting in a cafe, you are looking at a couple, and then it is giving you an idea of a script. Very natural things, that's how we write these scripts, that's how we write these stories. And people, great source of inspiration, humanity, great source of inspiration, life, great source of inspiration. So we do all these things. When you are having a distorted mindset, when you are sometimes very cheap in your approach, so when you do all these things, then you cannot think about those great scripts or great stories, because you are very limited, you are very cheap, because you can use a lot of gimmicks, you can use a lot of tricks and techniques, but ultimately when you come to the story, when you come to the conflicts, it's actually cheap, and there is nothing there. So maybe you are using catchy titles, maybe you are using known faces, but ultimately you are not getting that story, you are not getting those conflicts, because you are in denial and so many other things I already talked about. So I call it type 2 time pass. Type 2 time pass. Hypocrisy, hypocrites, superficial marriage. Now some people are selling that superficial marriage as something really ideal, and that is maybe a big part of someone's brand, or brand of some people, because they are showing they are doing true love, they are showing they are having a great marriage, but ultimately it's a superficial marriage. The problem is they are not stopping there. They are forcing others to go through that path, even if they don't understand it yet. But they have to, um, you know, guide people in a different way. That is actually a detour. So people should do superficial marriages, then they will be happy. People should be hypocrites, then they will be happy. And their support group is like that, that type 2 support group. So superficial marriages, hypocrites, they are gathering, they are getting a support group, and they are telling people who actually understand what a relationship can be, should be, or is as it is. They are telling people, this is not the right thing, that is not the right thing, this is how it should be, this is how it should be, as if they have to indoctrinate, in relationships too. You understand what I'm talking about? So, festivals, what happened? They tried to use the Bengali culture. So, festivals, as I say, we are talking about relationships, we are celebrating cinema. Now, in Bengal, we have a lot of festivals. As I mentioned, Baro Mashe Tero Parbon. So, it means that we have a lot of festivals across the year. 12 months we have, and we have a lot of festivals, and we are celebrating things, celebrating life, celebrating little things, little things, simple joys in life we are celebrating in terms of festivals. But Durga Puja is one of the significant festivals, and you will see that it is not the relationship that is the only thing that is distorted. The way they deal with the festivals. Maybe one person is having a distorted idea about the gods and goddesses. Deliberately they are doing a publicity stunt or some PR exercise, and they are trying to distort the festival. Since they are distorting one festival or maybe one event, they think they can distort the entire festival. This is how they work. So Durga Puja, if they are distorting one particular Durga Puja, they think they can distort the entire Durga Puja, the Durga archetype, the other archetypes. So what they do is, they use the words. They are going to Bengal, they want to capture two festivals. Maybe they are doing it somewhere else, but they try to compare. Festival, Durga Puja, one festival, film festival, that is another festival. So festival is the word they are taking. They are distorting the film festival, they are distorting Durga Puja as a festival. How they are doing that? What they are doing is, they are thinking one person is Durga. Now, if you actually don't know what Durga stands for, what is the image of Durga, what is the archetype of Durga, what is the symbolism of Durga, you will see that it can be quite the opposite. Just like they do the wrong role play. One person is being the Shiva. Maybe a male person in the family, he wants to be Shiva and he became Shiva or Ram or whatever it is. But since we are talking about Durga Puja, one person is becoming Shiva, one person is becoming Durga. Maybe there can be two boys, they are becoming Kartik and Ganesh, two sons of Durga and Shiva. There can be two daughters, Lakshmi and Saraswati. They can be two girls. So what they are doing is to distort the festival and to distort the film festival. What they are doing is they are playing all these games. A family they are constructing, two girls they are taking, they are thinking one is Lakshmi, one is Saraswati, but actually they are distorting the notion of Lakshmi and Saraswati, what they stand for. Maybe they are doing a bit of education, maybe they are doing a bit of business and money, but actually they are thinking, since they are distorting these two people, so they are distorting the idea of the two archetypes. And if the daughters are there, so-called daughters, they are using them for a different purpose. If the two boys, they can take any boys and they can just make them Kartik and Ganesh. They are not that important. The two daughters are important because they can use them in different ways. So they are actually distorting the notion of the festival. They are actually distorting the notion of the characters. And they think they can do the same, they can play with the other festivals. For example, the film festival, they are distorting all these things. So the essence of the festival, the culture, they are using all these things and people are not getting that. Ultimately, what I want to mention is, If I talk about festival being a celebration, we are celebrating relationships, we are celebrating culture, we are celebrating one particular thing. Maybe it can be cinema, it can be one particular event, one particular thing, what the festival is about. We can do all these things. But since they want to distort the word festival, they think they are distorting this festival in this way, they are distorting that festival in this way, because the distortion is the goal. And they can play all these tricks and techniques to do that. Now, why I mention it? Because they played with the Bengali culture, and since I know about the Bengali culture, I can tell you, carnival they are taking, and they are using carnival, they are doing the associations, but they are not learning from the good and the best things. And you can learn so much, and there are people who have learned from the great art, cinema, architecture, literature. They have learned from it, but they are not doing that. They are trying to distort it. Two festivals, Durga Puja, film festival, you can learn a lot from this. That's why sometimes I feel like mentioning these things a bit more. So this is the video I am keeping. Once in a while you can come to this video and you can look at this video, and we will continue our discussions. But once in a while you can come to this and you will understand, or you will try to think around these topics, and you will see that how they are playing these games. Word games, festival, comparison from this to this. If they are distorting this, they think they can distort this. Then the characters, wrong role play, wrong narratives. Ultimately what you are getting, the main thing what I want to convey, relationships are suffering. Doing this wrong role play, doing this distortion of the festivals, we are celebrating the wrong relationships maybe. Wrong relationships, there can be a diverse range of relationships, okay, but I have seen myself, whenever they see a good relationship or a true relationship, they have some problem with it. That's why we need to mention this. We can enjoy different kinds of relationship. This one is for you, okay, that's fine. This one is for me, that's fine. I am not going to interfere with yours, you are not going to interfere with mine. But what this bunch does is, they want to interfere with others' relationships with the same mindset, distortion. Whenever they see a true relationship, and since they have a support group saying the hypocrites are the right ones, the superficial marriage is the right thing to do, they have a support group based on that. And it can be mass support too, because they have built the mass culture regarding that or around that. So when you are believing in true relationships or true love, or maybe true cinema, so what you are doing is, you are not conforming, because you know what a relationship is. You know what your relationship is. There are no one to tell you that, right? So that distortion is actually giving them a kind of confidence, and they think that they can distort something else too. That's the reason I talked about all these things. Now you can come back and you can think about other things, and you will see a relation